Police arrested a man after he was allegedly seen chasing a naked girl and leading police to an hours-long standoff. You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. A neighbor reported the girl running away with cuts on her body.
The officers immediately rendered aid to the female, young, approximately 14 years of age. She was taken put into the back of the police car, and at that time they gave chase after the subject.
Now, cops entered the home on Roseanne Drive with a warrant and arrested Omar Andres on unknown charges. The standoff lasted 8 hours. Police do not know the relationship between the 26-year-old man and the 14-year-old girl. And the Tesla Science Center is asking the public for help after a fire tore through it. Sherry Einhorn shows us the damage.
This fire was a big gut punch.
It was a devastating fire at the last remaining laboratory of renowned scientist Nikola Tesla. Hundreds of firefighters and first responders battled tough weather conditions for hours. The building, which dates back to 1901, was being renovated to be turned into a science museum. Jane Alcorn has been working on the project for decades.
Emotionally, I look at the building and it kind of gives you a sinking feeling at first, but then I feel hopeful because we're going to get the support and we're going to get through this.
The cause of the blaze is still under investigation, but arson was ruled out. As far as the damage, inspectors say the roof, chimney, and cupola are all badly damaged, but the building itself, made mostly from brick, is still standing.
There will be some rebuilding that will need to be done, but pretty much 80% of the original Tesla structure that was there still remains.
Through the rubble, we can see a picture of Tesla on the wall. The fire caused an estimated $3 million in damages. That is on top of the $6 million fundraisers we're still trying to raise for the project. An emergency fund drive specifically for the $3 million was just launched. The hope is the global appeal of the scientist and his legacy will translate into dollars.
He was passionate about powering our lives with the Earth's forces and connecting us wirelessly. He felt that if we were all communicating on a regular basis, that it would eliminate a lot of our problems. And so people are inspired by that.
In Shoreham, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
A Medford man is facing charges for allegedly having cocaine and fentanyl with the intent to sell. Prosecutors say Nathaniel Howell had more than 2 pounds of cocaine, a large quantity of fentanyl, and more than $300,000 in cash inside his home. The 40-year-old is due back in court in January. All right, good news and bad news for Long Island shoppers. The good, Wegmans is coming to Long Island. The bad, the opening is delayed until 2025. Sorry about that. Now here's the rendering of the future store. A real estate firm official says the delay is due to a longer than expected wait time for approval from the counties. Just be patient. All right, when the time comes, the grocery store will open in DSW Plaza in Lake Grove. And winter isn't even here yet, but the Blue Angels are getting ready for the 20th annual air show. Steve Langford reports from Farmingdale.
If you happen to notice this Navy jet fly into Republic Airport Tuesday around noon, the Blue Angels advance team was coming in from a stop in Traverse City, Michigan.
Ooh, what was that? About an hour and 15 minutes or so.
Lieutenant Commander Brian Vaught and Lieutenant Connor O'Donnell are here to begin preparations for the Bethpage Air Show at Jones Beach next Memorial Day weekend.
We'll have 7 jets, so 6 for the flight demonstration, then the advanced pilot, me, I'll show up 1 day early, and then our C-130J Super Hercules that we know as Fat Albert.
On the blustery, cold tarmac Tuesday, a hug and a kiss from Connor's father, Brian O'Donnell, greeting his son, the Blue Angels pilot.
This was really the first time I'd seen him fly, actually.
A lot of emotions, O'Donnell says, especially given the loss of his wife a couple of years ago.
I wish she was here. I wish my dad and her dad were both Navy veterans. My dad served in the South Pacific on a number of island campaigns, and her dad was in Korea. And they would have been busting their buttons to see their grandson crawl out of that jet.
2 Navy pilots have an afternoon of serious planning ahead of them here to prepare for their aerobatics above Jones Beach next May.
We're going to do a winter visit brief, so we get with all the stakeholders of the air show, and then we go over the safety aspects, so we want to make sure we put on a safe air show.
a show that will have special meaning for one pilot's extended family.
Mr. O'Donnell says he hopes to come see his son perform at the air show next Memorial Day weekend. Steve Langford for NewsdayTV.
NASA officials are urging people to practice fire safety this holiday season, whether you're buying new decorations, setting up candles, or putting up lights you've had for years.
Existing lights that you may have that you've stored in your attics or in your basements, when you take them out, test them, look for any loose wires, look for any crimps in the wire or anything frayed, anything that would cause a fire.
In a demo of how a dried Christmas tree can catch on fire. Fire officials say to keep your trees hydrated and away from heaters. Now, with that in mind, let's take a look at your Long Island weather, because you're going to need those heaters because it is going to get cold outside. You see, tomorrow we have mostly sunny skies, but temps not even reaching the 40s. Taking a closer look at tomorrow, you can see temps are in the mid to high 30s with cloud cover all day long.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
There's renewed concerns about our drinking water. Steve Langford has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Sophisticated and expensive equipment is now available to treat drinking water contaminated with something called 1,4-dioxane. But this equipment is not the kind of thing you can just order on Amazon.
Water districts now have to plan on getting these new filtration systems. They have to put them on, they have to maintain them, they have to pay for them, and sometimes, unfortunately, that takes time.
Delays and cost have prompted several Nassau County water districts to seek exemptions from the New York State Department of Health in order to get more time to install and implement technology called Advanced Oxidation Process, or AOP, in order to eliminate 1,4-dioxane, considered a likely human carcinogen.
1,4-dioxane has been linked to a wide variety of health concerns, including breast cancer, kidney cancer, and testicular cancer.
4 water suppliers in Nassau County, Liberty New York Water's Merrick District, Jericho Water District, the town of Hempstead, and the village of Hempstead have all received exemptions, giving them another year to comply with the state standard of 1 part per billion for 1,4-dioxane.
The village of Hempstead on its website says consuming water with 1,4-dioxane at the level detected does not pose a significant health risk. Your water, it says, continues to be acceptable for all uses.
All 4 of the water districts report having 1,4-dioxane levels in some of their water supplies above the state standard, and all 4 say their water is safe to drink.
People are drinking water that does not live up to a public health standard, and that is of grave concern.
The water districts had already received deferrals since the state first established its 1,4-dioxane limit 3 years ago.
I think it would be terrible if that was the case. That would be awful. There should be something done about it.
Of course. If it affects the drinking water, it is a concern.
New York State was the first state to establish a standard limit for the 1,4-dioxane in drinking water. Steve Langford for NewsdayTV.
Important story there. Now, to read more about Long Island's drinking water, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A robot powered by artificial intelligence that could help kids learn was created right here on the island. It is a story you'll see only in Newsday.
I'm 2XL, a friendly educational robot from 1978. I was created to make learning fun.
A child could sit and say, hey, 2XL, let's make up a story about superheroes and villains and let's build that story. And 2XL will actually communicate and talk to the child and play to this fantasy world that the child is creating. In dealing with 5 to 12-year-olds, safety is the most important factor, and that was our key point in creating this item. Every answer that's coming from 2XL is appropriate to a 5 to 12-year-old.
Once upon a time, a team of young heroes with extraordinary powers joined forces to protect the city.
Parents have the app, and if the child is discussing anything that's improper or using improper language, it will immediately send an alert on the parent's phone through the app. We've been able to get placement on 2XL, and it will be in the marketplace in almost every country.
Aquí está la historia. Había una vez un equipo de jóvenes superhéroes con poderes extraordinarios.
This is really quite groundbreaking and revolutionary. It's very, very exciting.
And I love that it's multilingual. Now, to read more about this robot, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
My goal is to entertain, but also to let you into places where the fans can't go. I want to take the readers inside the locker room, inside the heads of the athletes.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.